Atlanta, and I am your friendly neighborhood councilman. I have been serving as your council member for District 2 for the past 2 terms, which is 4 years, and I hope that we can continue working together. A little bit about myself. I am a family man. I have my wife, Jennifer. We've been married for over 15 years. I have two children. My son is 13 and my daughter's 9. They both just celebrated birthdays. And I really enjoy what I do. I get to serve the community. I get to help people. And you know, we have a lot of good things happening right now in our city, especially here in District 2. And I hope that we can continue working together. And as far as why I chose District 2 to live in, it's a unique district in that I feel like it's a good cross section of what the entire makeup of the city is like. But most importantly, it's centrally located within the entire city. So there's many things that are accessible easily, many good restaurants, parks, and so we get to enjoy those perks.
Okay, well, my name is Sylvia Campos, and I've lived here all my life. I grew up in the Wiegans and then moved into the Moody area. And then I moved into Indiana Street back in the 90s. And so I have 2 sons. They grew up there, great neighborhood. I loved living in Indiana. They had the best, I think, childhood. And of course, I attended Menger. My background is medical billing, and my background in, I guess, grassroots organizing. I never realized that that's what I was doing, because you just do it because you care, right? So I guess it started about 20 years ago, where I attended the Boston Social Forum. And I brought that idea back to Corpus Christi and created the Coastal Bend Social Forum, which was a place to let the citizens figure out how to tackle some of these issues that come up economically and socially. And it also involved the arts. To me, that was like the biggest component, is involving the arts. So that also led me into, I was against the Iraq War, and then the deputies decided that I was good at that, and I was asked if I could help them do the petitioning for collective bargaining. And I've been endorsed by several organizations, the Sierra Club, the Coastal Bend Labor Council, the Grassroots Law Project. I've just been involved. I was in K-Space. I think that's where we met Heidi, or that's where I met Heidi. And the Lindale neighborhood has got just a really rich background. I mean, I love it because it's got a good mixture. You've got carpenters and lawyers and people that work for the city, and just, Whataburger, and I mean, just everything, everyone in that little neighborhood. I myself live over here by Collier Pool, which I'm very blessed because we have an outside heated pool, and it's used quite a bit. So the reason that I'm running is because, or the reason that I chose District 2 to live in is because of its diversity. I really enjoy the diversity, the trees. It's one of the oldest neighborhoods. I can't see myself living anywhere else but District 2. So, my boys went to Ray High School. I just, in the band. So I'm just really connected here. I feel privileged and honored to be in this time and this space with y'all right now. So thank you.
Our city is not comprised of the businesses, and it's not comprised of the municipality. It's comprised of the people. And so I think if we have a good, strong community, like we do have here in Lindale, I always brag about you guys because when I talk to other neighbors, I always refer back to the Lindale community, because your community is so tight knit and so close to each other. And I think if we have more of that in our neighborhoods, not just in District 2, but across the entire city, I think we have, I think we'll see a better improvement in our city. You know, my own neighborhood, our street is close, and you know, our neighbors, we always talk to each other, and you get that sense of community. I feel safe outside. I feel safe letting my kids play outside, and that's due to the quality of the communication within the community.
I think it has to do with the people. We have to focus on what the people's needs are and wants. For too long, you know, like I said, I've lived here all my life. Our neighborhood streets have gone unattended. Our sidewalks, our lighting, our public entities, our senior centers, our libraries, they're always on the back burner. You know, we're never in the front. And when somebody comes to Corpus Christi, it's the people that make up the city. It's not the things. It's the feeling that you get. And when somebody comes to Corpus Christi, it's usually because you've been invited. It's an accident that you found us. It's really special. So I just feel that it is the people that make our city special. And Lindale is just one of the neighborhoods that I feel does that. It's very unique, especially with the Lindale Park and recreation that is surrounded by unique, really architecture. The artists that painted those benches and Aislinn doing the garden. So I hope to model that for the rest of the city.
That's a great question. You know, what I was doing before pre-COVID was I was actually hosting meetings on the street in the neighborhoods. And so I would partner up with community members, and we would just pick a day and invite everyone off the block to come and meet. And it's a chance to get to know your council member, but I would also invite you know, our police officers. I would also invite code enforcement and our fire department. And it's a good opportunity for not only the citizens to engage with the leadership of the community, but it's also goes back to building that community. You get to know each other. It's not often that you know, neighbors stop and visit with neighbors. And so we were doing that pre-COVID, and I hope that we can do that again soon. And I think that it was successful, and I think that moving forward, if we can do more of that, the better off we are.
Well, the first thing is, and they're probably not going to like this, I'm saying the city, is empowerment to the neighborhoods. The reason that I decided to run 2 years ago was because at the time there was a $20 million shortfall in the budget, and I couldn't believe it. And so I got involved, and I realized that the industrial district was not paying their fair share. And I was like, because I was thinking, how can we be $20 million short? So at the time we started a petition, and that's what got the attention of City Hall. And I would encourage that to the rest of the citizens, because it is about the loudest ones. They're the loudest ones are the ones that get heard. And as I am block walking, I encourage, I'm even handing out petitions, generic petitions, so that neighbors can start organizing and saying, okay, look, we need these sidewalks done. We need these lighting fixtures, you know, fixed, or we need speed bumps, or whatever it is. I think petition drives are good, because that's the only way you're going to get the attention of City Hall. I would encourage that. The other thing is really participation in the government. Right now in City Hall, we only get 1 minute to say what is happening in our neighborhood, or what can be improved. So I think we need to expand that. At least the minimum is 3 minutes, if not 5 minutes. So that's the first thing I would do, is to increase democracy and transparency. So I think that's something we can do very quickly.
Well, I was part of the council that moved forward with adding additional police officers every year for the next several years. And so I think that's important. And over the next several years, and during my time on the council, we've added more code enforcement officers. I think if we do a better job of patrolling the neighborhoods, if we do a better job of just keeping our neighborhoods clean and safe, well lit, I think that's going to go a long way. I'm a huge advocate of improving our lighting in our streets. And I think that's a help. I think that's a deterrent. And so I think that we need to do a better job of looking out for each other in our neighborhoods. But not only that, when you hear or suspect something, call the police right away. Let them come check it out. It's better to be safe than sorry.
Well, the bottom line is to that is, again, about knowing your neighbors. And what is happening now is that the calls that are being made to the police, 25% of those calls are actually mental and substance abuse. So I believe that we do need to start looking at the police budget and trying to figure out what might work better. We have had the war on drugs for 50 years. That has not worked. But specifically regarding our own personal, what's been going on here in the city, I also believe that the opportunities that are maybe not, I guess, visualized or they don't see it. I think there seems to be a disconnect with what is the possibility and what is actually happening to our neighbors. So I believe it is about a one-to-one connection. I believe that it is about speaking and getting involved with one another, because most of the crimes that do happen, I hate to say this, but it is about people. Most of the time it's people when somebody breaks in, more than likely it's someone and drugs and mental abuse can be a big part of that. But I think if we can improve our programs with after-school programs and other, avenues, I think, like my boys were in band, and so I knew all the time where they were at. We really do need to take more responsibility, I think, also as parents, and just I remember the recording. It was 11 o'clock. Where's your child? We can recreate that again, just as a reminder. Keep up with our children and with our teenagers.
I'm a huge advocate of community, and I think that we can show that by protecting our libraries, protecting our parks. I was the one who actually led the way to bring splash pads to our neighborhoods, and so when it comes to parks, when it comes to libraries, I want to make sure that the funding maintains what we have right now, and where we can, I'd like to add more value, more programming. And we've done that in our libraries with the addition of programming and with the addition of making the library resources available online also.
Like I said earlier, The industrial district agreements, those are renegotiated every 10 years, and it's coming up. It's starting next year. And so what happens is that right now that I'm aware of, or 2 years ago, was 72 corporations that are in this part of this agreement. And it started like, I don't know, 38 years ago. It was a hand up, to help these industries get going. It wasn't intended to stay there, forever. So I feel that, and a lot of people do feel that if they were to pay their fair share, we would have the funds to allocate for the programs and the things that we need to get our city up to par. There's no reason why we can't have the programs that we need for our community. I mean, we're so below par. I served in the park and recreation for 6 years. And every time I said, about the reason that I got in was because of the urban forester. I love trees. I just think that they're just, they create so much beauty and they're like the working horse of the environment. So we can start by getting participation, or by making sure that they pay their fair share. With that money, we can use to fix our streets, get some programs funded. And there's also, the bigger picture is also federal. There's also a federal program right now, if the Senate were to pass that would pass out trillions of money to cities that we need. So, it starts from the bottom up all the way to the top. It's all connected. So hopefully everyone would pay attention. And we do have someone in City Hall that is the legislative liaison. And I was asking how the present congressman had voted on this latest bill regarding, for infrastructure. And it's sad, but he voted against it. So, people need to know that. So that money can be trickled down to us, the cities that need it. So I would start with that, with the IDAs.
Thank you.
And and we'll be able to fund these programs with that. It would get just for them to pay their fair share.
So I think we need both. And the challenge that District 2 has is that it is landlocked. It's an older part of the city. And one of the things that I'm working on is what we're calling the Bayside redevelopment plan. And so that's the opportunity for us to plan what we want our city to look like in the future. And so part of that is going to be a lot of neighborhood engagement. Another aspect of that plan is the Staples revitalization corridor, which starts at 6 points and goes all the way to Leopard. And I want to make sure that we have a lot of public input. We know we have our challenges in that area. And I think working together, we can all do our part to help improve the city.
Yeah. All right. Now, this is something that I hold dear. I have, and I hope many of you feel the same way, is that, we keep thinking outer, for outer development. But the fact is that we have the infrastructure here, especially in District 2. We have the 6 Points area, we have Ayers area, we have also even Castores that could use some revitalizing. That money can be, just like they have for the downtown area, the tiers. Why can't one be also created for our district in District 2? We already know that, look at Palmetto Mall, just the new owners that came in. You know what the first thing they did was to plant trees and to plant greenery. We already know that works. It's an inviting aesthetic, and it's something that can cost some, but it's something that if you do it, it will create it will create development. I feel that we need to start giving incentivizing our district for every district, especially District 2. I don't think we've had that. I feel that we have so much potential. We've always said that, but I see it, and I think we can visualize it right there in 6 Points. Nuevo Cafe is there, and we have Prices that's been there for a while. But I think if we invite more greenery, and also just do the zoning, that also, we need also more livable spaces there. I'm imagining something like in the big cities where you have like an apartment on the top of your business and your business on the bottom. I mean, that's the only way I feel like I would be able to make it, is if I could live in that area. My business would be on the bottom floor and I would live on the top. So, you know, I just feel like there's so much possibility, and I think that we'll be able to do that if we can get people that think outside the box and can see this.
The industrial district agreements are expiring within the next year. And so I think it's important that you have people who are on the council who are familiar with the way that the council operates. And I certainly want to make sure that when it does come time to renegotiate these agreements, that the city is given a fair shake as far as payments in lieu of taxes. But it also needs to be a win-win. You know, the industry in our area, they do provide many jobs here. And I think we all know people or have relatives that work for these refineries. And so they're good paying jobs, and they employ, you know, good people. And they also do a lot for our community. But when it comes time to renegotiate these contracts, I'm just looking for a win-win for the industry and for the citizens of Corpus Christi.
I do believe that it's long overdue. This conversation wouldn't even be happening. And I think the conversation of so many candidates now is those type of agreements that are going on. You know, the unfairness of even the water usage. You would imagine that the more that one uses, the more you would pay, which sounds right to me, or just common sense. But it's the opposite. These corporations, these big industry users, get actually a huge discount on our water. So I just feel that that the city is long overdue to either, you know, let these industrial district agreements dissolve, or renegotiate it to where it favors us, the people. Because where are these plants going to go? Are they going to leave? No, they're not. These are multi-billion-dollar industries. They already get, you know, federal subsidized by the government, state. So, you know, 2 years ago, I guess 4 years ago, they also went from a 20 or 35% federal tax break to 22%. So, you know, they don't need the breaks. We need the break. We need fairness. So I think we can do a lot better. I am grateful for, you know, some of the past. I know that Nelda Martinez and David Loeb, the last time, renegotiated a higher rate for us, which I'm grateful, but we can do way better. And I'm hoping to be part of that conversation.
That's a great question. You know, I'm a big fan of District 2, and being a family man myself, we spend a lot of time at Cole Park. It is a District 2 park, And you know, not only because it has a great playground and it has areas to sit, but we'll go and we'll walk around the park just for exercise. A big focus of mine is the reconstruction of Cole Park Pier. That is a big initiative that I've been working on for the past couple of years, and that's something that I would hope to see uh, come to fruition. And we're anticipating that Cole Park Pier is going to be reopened before summer of next year. So that's something that I want to keep the pressure on to make sure that we keep moving forward with that. One of my fondest memories of Cole Park Pier, though, is you know, they have the Bay Jammin' series, and so my family and I, we'd go out and get to enjoy the music and even enjoy the movies sometimes. And one of our neighbors has a band, and my daughter, my 8-year-old daughter at the time, they invited her up to the stage part and actually let her introduce the band. So we had a good time making memories there.
I loved going to, I love going downtown, really. Listening to the bands and, you know, going to Cole Park at the, you know, the movies and the concerts. I miss it all. I really do. I do at least still get to walk the Bayfront, and I feel blessed because, you know, doing the block walking, I've come across people that, you know, like mothers and grandmothers, that they can't even walk their children because, or their babies, because the sidewalks are so bad. And, you know, this is what it comes down to, is just the basics. But I miss going downtown and hanging out and, you know, listening to great outdoor music and artists. And I'm hoping to, you know, for all of us to get back into the swing. I understand that the governor is reopening some of the bars. I'm a little scared. You know, but I'm kind of curious as to how that's going to happen. So that's what I miss.
Since I've been on the council, we did create this new homelessness and housing initiatives department. And so what the focus of that department is to help people who are needing these services to um, come to we created almost a central hub where we partnered with Salvation Army. And so part of that is we want to allow them to get comprehensive assessments of their needs, whether it's for individuals or families. And so I think we can do a better job of steering these people who are needing these services in that direction and help them get the help they need.
It is hard. It is, you know, it's hard. It's hard to see this because, you know, that can be my brother or my sister. I have mentally ill siblings. And if it wasn't for my mother, who's 96 years old, they would probably be out there. So I can sympathize with that. And, you know, would I want them out there, you know, panhandling? No, of course not. But what can you do? I don't think arresting, you know, is the answer, but I do feel that we can maybe even start a mentoring program, because that's what I had to do with my own sister. You know, I have to stay on top of her medicine. I need to make sure that she's okay. And, you know, just like they have for CASA, why can't we have the same thing for adult people? You know, we need to start figuring out another way of handling the panhandling. I do see it, and it does. I don't contribute to it because because I know it, you just are not helping, but I do feel that we can start, I think, channeling them, or at least putting them through some kind of identity process so that we can start identifying, okay, well, where are you from? And, where do you come from? And what is it? What are the needs? And is anybody supporting you? Or do you have somebody that you can call? I mean, I think it's a one-to-one type of process that it's going to take. So I feel like we can do something, and it's not going to be me. It's going to be all of us. I mean, we all are in this together. So, I think one of the ways we can start to do that is maybe having some sort of mentoring program with the adults, just like they do for CASA.
My single greatest accomplishment, there's I don't know if I have a single greatest one. I have favorites. One of my favorite things has been leading the way for the splash pads. I take my daughter out and my son, and they get to enjoy the splash pads. I also initiated the creation of the sandbag program, which a lot of people have benefited from here, especially here lately with the storms that we've had. One thing moving forward is I am moving forward with the Vision Zero Public Safety Initiative, which we hope to make improvements to our street lighting, to our crosswalks, and make pedestrian safety and cycling safety that much more of a priority for our city. One of the biggest things that I do enjoy about serving on the council is getting to meet the people of the city and visiting with them, hearing what their issues are, and then trying to see how I can help in that regard. The biggest regret I've had, that's tough because I hate to say that I don't have any regrets because I see those as learning opportunities and growth opportunities. And so I have had many of those. And so I think moving forward, those benefit and the people of Corpus Christi get to benefit from that experience.
Sadly, that is true. Sadly, the percentage of people that don't vote, and that's where that comes from for me, the people have the power. It's a sad state where the people that don't vote, these are people that are registered to vote and do not bother. And I feel that the reason that they don't bother to vote is because we don't give them a reason. If we keep saying the same thing and doing the same thing and expecting different results, that's just insanity. So I tell people, and I remind them that we actually do hold the power, but only we use it. And now that I've been block walking for years, and I tell the people that tell me, I don't bother, I don't vote, what for? I said, that you are almost outnumbering the people that do vote. So I feel that it's incumbent on the people that are running to give them a good reason to stand up and say, no, this is not right, and we can do better, and we should do better, and we will do better if we all hold our government officials to the fire. And I hope that if I do make it, that you will hold me to the fire. I believe in challenging. I believe that that makes us better. So if I do make it, I hope that somebody else will step in and challenge me, because you know why? It makes us all better. We all work harder for us, for all of us.
Personally, if it was just up to me, I would invest in our probably our parks. You know, we can always use more shade, more trees, more amenities like splash pads. I would like to see more dog parks in the area, and uh, and that's important to me because you know there's a park down my street, and I see every day when we visit the community connecting. You know, I get to visit with my neighbors. My daughter gets to see other little children playing, and you know we there's some health benefits added to it. And so that part is important to me. I'd like to say that I put it towards streets, but even with all the money in the world, we have you know just an endless amount of streets that we need to fix. But moving forward, we do have a plan to do that.
I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to use it on my street because I don't have any sidewalks. It ends. No, I'm kidding. But you know, that's what I would do. I think it costs like $1 million to fix my street. But yeah, it's sadly, and you know, the park. You know, one thing that I think we can do with $1 million is start our nursery, at least. A city nursery. I don't think it's going to cost $1 million, but it would feel like $1 million because we would have planted some seeds and some trees, and we'll be able to disperse them to the rest of the city, whoever wanted them. So that's where my $1 million would go, into planting more trees.
I think it's important to for you all to know that Lindale has my ear. You've had my ear since the beginning, and we made a lot of improvements here in the Lindale area. Moving forward, you know, we've got a lot of work to do, but I'm happy to report that Swanner is starting here next week. I'm also happy to report that in Bond 2018, we've got the next section of Staples that's going to get redone, and that's from Castores to Baldwin. And in this Bond 2020, we got Alameda, a section of Alameda there by Lindale added also. And in the next term, I'm also looking to get Ponder and Texas Avenue redone also. So I am working for you. I would hope that I can continue working for you. And anytime that you need me, give me a call, 361-271-4393, or go to electbenmolina.com to learn more. In any case, Lindale, thank you so much for just letting me serve you.
Okay, I am speaking to you guys, Lindale. You are unique, and I love what y'all are doing. And I said this, and I mean it. You're what all neighborhoods should do, which is to unite and get your neighbors together and have power like this. This is not, this should be normal, but it's not. So I just want to say I would be honored to serve you. I would be there. I take care of my mother and most mornings, but I would be there most evenings, and I would be available. I know that my opponent is very sweet and very kind and very friendly. My approach is, yes, that's necessary, but you also need an advocator, and I would be your advocator. If anybody that knows me knows that, you know, I just don't sit around, and I will ask those questions and demand that District 2 be recognized for who we are, which is the heart. We are the heart of Corpus Christi. Don't ever forget that. And if you want to join our campaign, SylviaForChange.com. That's about it. Thank you.